Okay, so real GDP is equal to the nominal GDP divided by GDP deflator times 100. So let's start with the first one in 1980. So the real GDP in 1980 equals to the nominal GDP I2 divided by GDP deflator from the same year. So it is J2 or 4.6 times 100. Okay, then I can press enter. And then again, use that double left click command to complete the calculations for the whole column K. Okay, so your last answer should be 3.071 something. Oh, 3071, sorry. 3071659. Okay. And then the next question should be about economic growth. Yes, between 2 consecutive years. So it is equal to real GDP in year B minus real GDP in the previous year, year A, bracket, divided by real GDP of the earlier year, which is year A. And then we obviously have to convert the answers into percentage. So let me call it growth. And it is impossible to work out the real GDP growth rate here. The reason is we don't have the 1979 real GDP. So the answer is left blank here. But we can rather work out the answers here, the real GDP growth rate between 1980 and 1981. We need to make use of bracket actually. Equals, open bracket, you have to use the shift key. Do you see the 9 key? And then the open bracket, shift key. Equals this one, the 1981 real GDP minus the 1980 real GDP. Close bracket, divided by real GDP of the earlier year, which is 1980. So bracket K3 minus K2, bracket, close bracket, divided by K2. Okay, it is 5%. You just have to click this option, percent, and then let's say you want to show the first 2 decimal places. So increase decimal, you have to click it twice. 5.36, can I just double check comparing with the official answer? Indeed, 5.36. Then again, use that double left click command to complete the calculation. You see in certain years in the 80s, you would see recession. Yeah, I just randomly highlight these few answers. I think, and then 2009, you know, the global economic recession. Okay, so I leave the answers for 10 seconds before we move on to the next question. Okay, then now we can move on to the questions on plotting different types of chart. Draw a column chart on real GDP. Okay, so let me highlight the values. Okay. Insert. I think you can select column chart. I think the first one. Remember, for academic research papers, refrain from using the fancy 3D figures. It is a bit too much. So just the normal 2D column chart. Okay. This is called legend. I don't think we need the legend because there's only one variable involved. So I can delete the legend. And this is not the end of the story. Do you see the x-axis? Nobody would understand what 13579 stands for. You need to provide information on the x-axis values, which stands for the year. So what you have to do is double right-click anywhere inside the plot area, anywhere here. Right-click, select data. Okay, horizontal or x-axis label. Currently, there's nothing, so you click Edit. Now Excel asks you the question, the data range. So it would come from A2 to A38. Do you see the difference now, the changes here on the x-axis? And then OK. Okay, and you wouldn't want this chart to appear in the data sheet. You want the chart to exist on its own. So now you right click outside the plot area, which means somewhere here. Right click, move chart, new sheet, and then Excel has a suggestion. Should we name this as chart 1? I think this is a good suggestion. Then you can click OK. Okay. And then if you have time, you can really perform the plastic surgery. So for instance, you can change the column color, just click any column and then maybe yellow color, and even the font size, you can increase a bit, okay? But let's not waste time on these plastic surgery skills. When you have time, you can play around, okay? And then the next one, draw a line chart on the real GDP growth rate. So let's go back to the actual data. For the growth rate, remember it starts from here, from 1981. Let's highlight the data from 5.36% all the way to 0.28%. The question says line chart, so insert line chart, the normal, maybe 2D with the markers, line chart with the markers. Okay, again, I would delete the legend. We don't need the legend because there's only one variable involved. You see there are some negative growth rates. I already explained that in certain years, especially in the 80s, the South African economy really suffered economic recession for quite a number of years. And then now you see the same problem with the x-axis. So right-click, select data, and then edit. Now be careful. Remember, for the real GDP growth rate, the data is only available from 1981. So don't include 1980. Only start from A3 or 1981 all the way up to 2016. And then OK. Again, right-click outside the plot area. You want to move the chart, appearing as a new sheet of its own. Chart 2, I think I buy this suggestion by Excel. Okay, so I just want to increase the font size. Maybe let's play around with the y-axis. What if I don't want to see the decimal places? It is pointless to show the 0, 0. So right-click, format axis. Where can I find the decimal places? I think it is number. 0 decimal places. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spend too much time on these plastic surgery skills. Okay, and then we can go back to the question. Okay. Okay, then we can move on to sheet 3. Okay. Okay, let's look at the data. Okay, maybe I can increase the zooming a bit. Okay, so it's about a survey to the students, but the sample size is not the same every year. It's about asking them their favorite singers. So there are 4 singers for them to choose: Britney, Christina, Rihanna, Lulu, Kaka. Okay, and then let's look at the question. First of all, 100% stack column chart. Okay, so what we have to do is we can highlight the full data range. I think Excel will be able to distinguish column A stands for the year or the x-axis. Let's see if that is the case. Insert column. This one, the second option in the top row, 2D stack column chart. Okay, this is quite nice. And this time we need to keep the legends because there are 4 variables involved. But we usually put the legend at the bottom. So right click, format legend, bottom. Then the chart looks nicer. And you can see from this chart, you can see the demise of Britney and more students support Lulu Kaka. Okay, and then right click, move chart, new sheet, chart 3. Okay, and I can just increase the font size a bit. Okay, but then the problem with this type of stack column chart is the sample size is not the same every year. You can see it was 1,000 in 2009, nearly 2,500 in 2018. So actually it is better to present the chart as 100% stack column chart. So in other words, this chart shows the percentage of students who supports each singer. Okay, so we are going to do this 100% stack column chart. So go back to the actual data. Okay, same data range, insert, column, this time the third option in the top row, 100% stack column chart. And then again, we move the legend to the bottom. This is my recommendation. Okay, so happy with that? Then we can move the chart as new chart 4. Okay. And then for the next two questions, again, this is just another option. In case you don't like the column chart, you can do the two charts as stack area chart and 100% stack area chart. I think in both cases, you will once again see the demise of Britney's, but the students, more and more students in proportional terms or absolute terms, they support Lulu Kaka. So let's do these two charts. Okay, it's still the same data range, insert area, stack area chart. Okay, this is stack area chart. And then 100% stack area chart, this one. I think there are still two more charts we have to do using this sheet number 3. Okay. This is the easier type, horizontal bar chart. So the question asks, can you only show the results in 2018? Okay. So now it is a different data range. Only here, the question asks 2018. Where is it? Yeah, bar chart for 2018. Then the last one will be the pie chart for 2018. So this is the one we want to do. Insert bar chart, this one. We don't need the legend, but I think we need to label the x-axis. Nobody understands what 1, 2, 3, 4 stands for. So right click, select data. We need to tell Excel the x-axis labels. Edit, then highlight these 4 cells or the names of the singers. Okay, now you see this horizontal bar chart is done. Okay, and then the last one is the pie chart. I always struggle with the pie chart with the labeling actually. Let's look at the answers. Okay, we need to show the names of each singer, the absolute number of students who supports each singer, and the percentage of students who supports each singer. So let's see if I remember how to do this, especially the labeling. I always struggle with that year after year. So pie chart, 2D pie charts. I don't need the legends. Right click, select data. Okay, again, the names of the 4 singers. Okay, and now right click, add data labels. Then it only shows the absolute numbers. That's not enough. I still want to show the names and the percentage. So right click again. It should be format data labels. Yes, okay. Then you click category name and percent. Done. Okay. Okay, I just need to increase the font size. Okay, can I actually drag it? Then yes, I think that looks much better actually. Okay, again, you see the dominance of Lulu Kaka. Okay. Okay, so actually charts 7 and 8 gives you more or less the same result, showing that more students support Lulu Kaka. Okay, and then I think that's it for sheet 3. Then we move on to sheet 4. Okay, let's say goodbye to sheet 3. Sheet 4. Okay. Line chart, it shows the earnings of